Well, I just came from work, so
In your little quarter zip and your glasses.
it's highfalutin now.
Just a fancy guy.
Yeah, what do you do?
Yeah. Well, you're watching Lindy and Outdoors live, uncut, unfiltered, a little bit cut. I gotta keep us on the air. Can't be saying everything we want to say.
Listening.
Shout out to all our. I think we're at 40 now, 40 listeners. So we're moving up the ranks.
At least we were at 4, so that's
We
pretty
were at
good.
4. We're 100% growth here.
Can't beat that.
But no, I have some ideas today. Obviously, we're going to be talking ice fishing because your it's over.
Well, it's not over yet.
Well,
it's
over for me.
Yeah, it's over for you. I'm still bow hunting, even though that was the coldest I think I've ever been in my entire life last weekend. And
I can tell you're cold because we share an Amazon Prime account, and I saw that you put some heated vests and gloves in the Amazon cart, and I was like, you must have went hunting in the cold the other day.
Yeah, I was like, this is dumb. Well, the thing is too, if you like, I have some good cold weather gear, but like my older stuff is so heavy, it's huge.
Yeah.
And it's like a lot of the stuff that I'm hunting, I got to walk a half mile, and then it's a foot of snow now on the ground, and I was like,
if you wear the heavy stuff, you just get sweaty, and then you get cold, and
right. And then walking in there, I was like, well, I'm not gonna make it back out. I'm way too fat for this.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, I need to find a way that I can dress as light as possible and stay as warm as possible. So that's kind of where I'm at now. But I think I'm going to ice fish this weekend because the forecast was showing Saturday was pull it up here just for fun, -2 degrees, and with 10 to 20 mile an hour winds. So I would much rather be
shack.
Yep, I would rather be in an insulated Otter fish house with my buddy heater going.
Shout out to Otter and Buddy Heater.
That's right.
We've been Otter guys for a long time. Hit us up.
Yeah, so got to reach out to them, Jacob.
I know we should have them on the pot. You see, the nice thing about Otter is they're a little more heavy duty.
Well, that's the thing.
Heavy duty men.
The Otter sled is lights out above all the other brands of sleds,
especially durability wise.
Yep. Our main ice fishing was traveling by snowmobile on Lake of the Woods and Lake Winnipeg, and a lot of times we're going anywhere from 0 to 10 miles out.
Yeah. So let's say minimum on Lake of the Woods, you got at least to go a mile out. Minimum.
Depends on the day.
That's true. But yeah, we were in Winnipeg. We put on miles like crazy. You need something that's going to be tossed around. With his driving, with his Polaris, big wide track. That thing's a snow assault vehicle, as we like to call it. That poor sled, it's gotta be tough.
It's gotta be tough.
He doesn't know, but he's got good suspension. He'll be looking at his graph, and his skis are going like crazy, and his track's going up and down, but he's just And you don't like to go slow to your spots when you're on the sled.
I like to get there and get fishing.
Yeah.
Versus they just make a hell of a sled. Titan, the old wide tracks and things, just like you said, the suspension is so good you can just you can drive one-handed, and I'm usually looking at my phone trying to find using it as my GPS. And
I have an older Polaris, still a hell of a machine, but they've definitely put some upgrades in the last 20 years.
There is no
suspension.
No, there's no. You get a sled that's newer than 2005, I would say.
Yeah.
They are night and day difference.
Oh my gosh, the suspension is insane. I feel like I'm in a snowcross race and I'm going as fast as I can. I look over and he's one hand on the phone, hits a bump, doesn't even flinch, just chilling, just cruising, pulling all the equipment. Doesn't matter.
Yep. No, it's a beast. Love that.
It is a beast. But since you're going fishing, I think we should talk about early ice. Obviously, safety. We'll touch on that. It's always good to let people know. But what are your go-to little tips and tricks early ice fishing success?
You want to you just want to jump right into ice fishing? We don't want to go late season bow hunting.
I've moved on, but I'm just pumped for ice fishing. I'm all excited about it.
Jeez, that's nice. The switch has flipped.
White switch for me. I put away my hunting stuff. I grabbed my boots. I got my. I'm
You're
looking
ready to
at
go.
lures and
Well, the first ice, like you said, safety's number one.
yeah. Don't be
So
an idiot.
you got to go buy a spud bar. We kind of tailor this podcast to the people that are novices. But it's a good reminder for everybody of never trust the ice conditions. Make sure that you're walking out with you can do this a couple different ways. There's some people that'll use their ice auger to check ice. They'll drill a hole and then they'll, walk another 100 feet, drill another hole, and you just, that first time out to your spot, you might have to walk a long ways and drill a bunch of holes to make sure you get a safe route, or walk out with a spud bar. Don't trust your buddy that says, hey, it's 6 to 8 inches out there, and, us two walruses go out there and drill a hole and it's 3 inches on my side. I'm like, good God.
Well, we've been fishing where we check our way out. It's fine, and then we've been fishing right next to each other in a hub house, and I got 6 to 8 inches, and you have 3, and
Yeah,
it's a foot, and we're sitting arm's length away.
it can
Ice
vary
can,
5 feet away.
yeah.
And it's all about how the ice freezes, if there was snow cover, if there wasn't.
There's wind, or
And there's all kinds of factors. So,
I got warm again before it hard froze again.
yeah, check your ice. Now, obviously, after it's been, you get 12 inches of ice and it's been below zero and the temperatures
Yeah.
have remained cool, you're probably good to go. But
Yeah.
never, as a rule, don't try to drive your truck over heaves in the ice, and just have some common sense. But
Yeah.
no, early ice, I'm excited about that. I had fall fishing was great, so I'm guessing those fish aren't going to be far away from those spots.
Yeah.
So
I mean, do fish really change drastically from, fall to winter to spring?
they do. They'll follow the bait, and then also temperature, can affect that. Oxygen levels. A lot of times that's why the fish go deep in the wintertime, is because there's more oxygen out there. And then also, that's why they come shallow in the fall, is when you start getting some in the spring, when you start getting some runoff, that brings oxygen in there and they're attracted to that. It's like being able to breathe easier. So temperature, oxygen levels, food, it's where you find the food, you find the fish. So,
Yeah.
but it depends what they're feeding on that time of year. A lot of times later in the year, the fish are out deep because you start getting larvae hatching out of the mud out deep, that time of year. February, March. This time of year, I'd be out there. I'd be using minnows. I'm going to be using a little jigging spoon with a minnow head on it, and then I'll put a live minnow down on a slip bobber, let him swim around. And
Do you feel that like early ice, are the fish more not as aggressive? Are
more
they
aggressive. Early
more
ice will
aggressive?
rip the rod right out of your hands. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like,
You
it's
got like
always early ice and late ice.
3 weeks for when it first freezes over. That it's pretty lights out. Lake of the Woods. I shouldn't even say this, but nobody listens to us anyway. Plus, we don't live there now, so I can tell all the secrets of that lake. If you can be one of the first people out to 5 Mile Reef on Lake of the Woods,
Secret.
I know that's the secret. But
Yeah.
you only got 1 week, 2
Yeah,
weeks.
if that.
Yeah, if you can be one of the first people out there on snowmobile before the vehicles get out there, you will pound the fish.
Yeah. Which
We've done. We've been some
many
of the first
times.
people out there, and you remember that one year when it was like 20 below zero?
We broke 3 augers
Yeah,
in one day.
yeah. I had to go buy a new one in town. Rage by.
But it was you as fast as you could get your hook down there. It got to a point where we caught all our fish and we were just trying different hooks and everything seemed to be working. But you gotta get out there as soon as you can.
Yep,
And then once the city develops out there,
gone.
you're done.
The fish move off. You can still catch fish there, but not like we were. I mean, it was limits.
Yeah. Well, it's just,
Right.
I think people, and maybe, down in the Dakotas, and even southern Minnesota, I don't think people really understand that there are literal towns out on these big Lake of the Woods, and there'll be
Red Lake,
villages out there. Red
Black,
Lake,
Leech.
yeah.
They put out street maps of where they follow the roads out there, and they name the streets out there. There's little villages. It's
There's stop signs. There's
yeah, you'll have 10,000 people just on the Springsteel Road alone out there fishing. So
Well, do you remember the first year of COVID? And we were out on Lake of the Woods. Didn't they say that they like all the resorts like tallied the numbers and there was like 60,000 people out on Lake of the Woods?
yeah, I can't remember the exact number, but it was a lot.
It was something like that.
All the city people
Yeah,
decided
like they estimated with all the
to
houses and the
go
vehicles
live in
and
their fish house versus being stuck in their apartments. You know,
yeah.
if I was living in Minnesota, I would do that too. But
Which, kind of brings me to my next question here. Is we've kind of had this thought and debate before about, the out of state hunters and fishermen and everybody. What are some like bro code, hunters code
eh,
rules you think for the out of staters? And same thing goes for us when you go out of state. What are some things that
here's the thing: if somebody has their fish house out there, that doesn't mean you go fish right next to them, right? You better be you better be 200 yards away or more, and even that's a little too close in my opinion. But these people that come and set up right next to you, like you're trying to fish, and then they come out there and drill holes by you, scare the fish away, especially because a lot of them morons, don't get out there enough time ahead of time to, drill holes, let it calm down, let fish move back in there. I don't think people realize how spooky fish are. I mean, we've seen
fisher?
that with the live scope where all of a sudden I got fish coming, and then somebody's coming out of their fish house to come over to talk to me, and I see the fish take off.
Mm-hmm.
People don't understand how spooky fish are.
Or when and these people drive if you're on the big lakes,
Oh,
they'll drive your snowmobile in their truck
right by your fish house.
10 feet, 5, 15, 5. We've had them.
Yep, the water's moving up and down in the holes in the fish house because they're so damn close to us. You got a whole lake, morons.
Especially
Drive
on
around the people.
Lake of the Woods and Lake Winnipeg.
These Canadians are the worst. No,
We've been out in the middle of nowhere,
it's
and we'll see a truck coming. We'll see the dot. We'll be way out in the lake, and you'll see a dot coming, and they will have just thousands of yards of area to go, and they go right by you.
yep. Well, they want to come see. They want to drive by and see if you got fish laying on the ice.
Yeah,
So that's another thing too. Is keep your fish hidden in a
keep your
bucket
fish in a bucket.
inside your house so you don't attract attention from those people that don't. I don't like to fish by people. Matter of fact, if I can get away from people, that's when I have the best fishing. If you see a village of people, I always set up on the outside edge of them, or I prefer to have. I mean, when we brought your buddy Griff fishing that time, we were the only ones over in that whole little bay there.
Yeah, and we were catching huge pike
Yeah,
and catching lots of walleyes too.
and we caught a lot of walleyes, and there was there's nobody else over there. But I
No,
think later in the day, some people seen us fishing there, and they thought, "Oh,
no.
I'm gonna go set up by these guys." So,
And that's I think the same thing happens in hunting is you see people driving around at prime time, coming to the spot, drilling holes or hanging stands or driving through the woods or walking through the woods.
what's prime time, Jacob? Let's back up. What
Well,
time is
prime time
what time
is
is the witching hour?
the witching hour is the hour or the golden hour, you can call it.
Mm-hmm.
Is it okay, we'll start from
This is
scratch.
normally when Jacob takes a dump on me when we're hunting. It's prime time.
In the AM, you can shoot 30 minutes before light. So as soon as that 30-minute timer starts, it's 30 minutes until an hour after sunrise, I would say is your prime time. And then it can start slowing down. And then in the evening, golden hour, an hour before sunset, and 30 minutes after sunset.
Half hour before sunset.
Half hour. Yeah. The golden hour, when the sky turns golden or whatever. Anyways, and you'll be there. We'll see this on Lake Winnipeg and Lake of the Woods when we go out early in the morning. We're there sitting up at dark. We've driven out with our headlights and our lamps, and we drill our holes. We're set. We're not seeing any fish yet. And then the sun will start coming up, and we'll start, okay, fish are going to come, and we'll start hammering fish. And then right as the sun hits the sky, you'll see the interstate of Lake Winnipeg, Lake of the Woods, and their caravan of people driving out there. Well, the sun's in the sky, and they're scaring fish. Happens every time, and
Yeah.
it's just I don't know what it is. People want to get up early, and then you'll see people right
Don't
when
want to get up early, you meant. Yeah,
yeah,
you're
don't wake up early.
like we get out there early in the morning and we were just hammering them, and then all of a sudden here comes about 8:30 when everybody finally got out of bed. They come driving right by us,
And
and
it scares the fish. And then same thing with deer hunting. We've had people walking into public land. It's public land. Do what but walking into your setup, into your field or your patch of woods in the daylight, like you weren't there 40 minutes before shooting light set up.
should have been.
Should have been. It's just
Well, I
if you're
had
gonna
a rifle opener this year in South Dakota. I had some people come walk in on, it's the opening rifle season in South Dakota, public land. I'm sitting on a hill, and these morons think that, oh, it's 10 o'clock. We should go hunt pheasants. And then they seen my truck parked there in the access, parked by it, and walk in right past me.
that's the part that's the craziest.
Yeah. These people were from Iowa. I let them have it.
And like even if you're pheasant hunting and you see somebody working a field, don't go pheasant hunt the same field.
Yeah. Go to the next field. I'm like, you guys have no ethics in Iowa? I said, this is yes, it's public land, but if someone beats you to the spot, you go to the next spot. There's another piece down the road. Go down there. And plus, I'm like, why are you trying to go walk around here when there's 5 people trying to rifle hunt this section? That's a good way to catch some lead.
Catch a stray. It's just, and that's the other thing is like you're putting a bad name for other people in your state.
Yeah, and hunters.
And hunters and all that. And then it's always the out of stater or the urban hunters.
Yeah, I just don't think it's a lot of times it's the urban hunters, so the city people that live in the city, and they think that I don't know if they just don't understand, or they maybe because they live in the city they don't understand they didn't have the right upbringing for hunting. They just have a little bit of it. They don't understand all the ethics, and they think, well, it's they're used to having people right on top of them, so they think that's cool in hunting or something. I don't know what it is. But,
same with fishing too.
Yeah, same with fishing. I don't want to fish right next to you, Mister Minnewaska suburbiate from Minneapolis.
Yeah, North Minneapolis, whatever, Maple Grove.
Yeah, I don't want to fish right next to you. You go fish somewhere else.
And you see it even when you're shore fishing, they'll come sit 20 feet from you.
Yeah, the Norwegian fish finder.
Norwegian fish finder. I mean,
they're doing. I go fishing to get away from people, not to go sit right next to them.
That brings me kind of on our next topic here.
Rant over.
Next topic. I want to settle this once and for all because I've had 4 people now that they've talked to me about this. And everyone seems to think that using a live scope will scare away your fish.
Well, Jacob, there is some truth to that. We posted last year that no, it doesn't have an effect and blah, blah, blah. Well, then I was fishing a shallower body of water and I was noticing the fish were turning away from me. So it is true that if the fish are finicky, they can feel the sonar beams on them, especially with a live scope because you got a little more power there. So it does affect them, but it all depends. There's, like we saw at Lake Winnipeg, we saw fish that swam away from us. Were those fish just swimming away because that's what fish do down there?
Well, that's my question is, are they actually scared of the live scope, or are we just now as a community of fishermen finally seeing how fish behave properly? And fish are just swimming around like crazy, and maybe they just don't like your lure, and they swim off to the next one.
They don't have rhyme or reason to what they're doing down there a lot. But no, it's a little bit of both. You can, if you're too shallow and you have your gain really cranked up on that live scope, you can spook them a little bit. So if you have this has been proven. We're wrong, Jacob. We're wrong.
Don't say it.
Our lures, and our techniques and stuff, we were able to catch fish anyway. But it's not. Would I go fishing without my live scope? That's a better answer for this. The answer is hell no. I ain't even going to turn my Vexilar on this year. Matter of fact, I have an FL20 Vexilar for sale. If anybody would like to buy it, it's now a paperweight on my shelf. It works great, but I would. And if the fish are being spooked by my Vexilar or by my live scope, I don't want to catch them anyway. Because I'm addicted to I love watching them things come in on there, and I love catching them.
It it is really fun to see them, but I just part of me wonders, and maybe yes,
No, you're
sure,
right on your thought, Jacob. You're right that we are just better understanding how fish move. We can actually see how the fish move down there. And they're much more random than people think. And also, there's a lot more fish down there than people think.
and that's the other thing is like, are we just like you can see really far out, but you can only see in like a one direction.
Right?
And part of me is like, well, I saw a fish turn. I'm like, well, did you or was that fish just coming? If your ban is this way, was that fish just coming kind of at a weird angle?
Or did he
And
just want to turn?
or did he just want to turn there? Or was there a rock there that you can't see? Or was there something else? But like I just
But I've seen like where I've been fishing, and then Colton, your cousin,
old cousin Colt.
old cuz, he likes to sit in his fish house, and then he'll scan you with his
Yeah.
live scope to see if you have any fish under you. And I'm like, quit doing that, you sucker! I can see your beams on my live scope, and also, we don't need double the beam down there. That's for sure.
Yeah.
To spook them. But there is some truth to that. That fish have a lateral line. They can feel, they can sense that if your gain's up too high and it's too shallow water and there's not enough water to dissipate that beam, they can feel it.
Well,
And
there
they
you go.
may or may not care, because we
A big
obviously
aggressive fish.
we had that 28-inch walleye that you missed 3 times, all all on the live scope. We're watching him coming. Comes in, right, and then I caught him. So that was 5 times he tried to eat bait,
Yep.
and it was on the live scope the entire time.
Yep.
Zeddy, be quiet.
Good old Zeddy.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just. I mean,
Yes.
I guess there you have it. That's the live scope will scare your fish, but a big fish will not give a single F.
Well, it depends. Okay, it's just like anything. Um, will they? There's so many variables in there. Can it? If the fish are really finicky and spooky, can that extra beam down there shut them off? Yes. If the fish are really aggressive and hungry, it probably won't matter. And it's. I mean, I've seen it too, where just how people rig up their fishing line. If they don't have the right. Well, they got a great big giant barrel swivel on there and a 4 or 5 split shot glob together and a big old ice or a summer fishing jig on there, and they won't catch as many fish because all of a sudden we downsized to remember the year when the UV Tiger buckshot spoon was just absolutely killing them.
It was just this.
Yep.
If you had that, you'd catch all the fish, and if someone else had it and you didn't, you weren't catching them.
Our boy Jay Hodney found that out.
Yep. And I feel like it kind of moves on to our next point. You're segueing me up here. Great for my topics.
What I do, but before we segue, hold your thought. My buddy Jay Hodney and I were up on the angle, and we ended up going out fishing with a bunch of vendors, people that sell us material for electrical material, and we were fishing on Lake of the Woods, and we went out with Sunset Resort, great place to go. Not, Bay Store is my favorite, but what up, Frank, if you're listening to this, but and Laura. But second, Sunset Resort put us in some fish houses. There was 4 or 5 of us. The other fish houses weren't catching a thing, and Jay and I had those lures. And let's just say I was like, "Hey, are you catching any fish?" No. I'm like, "Oh, well, you better come over here. I'll show you how to catch them and what lures to use. Also, here, take a few walleyes so I can keep fishing." I don't think party fishing's against the rules in Minnesota. If it is, I'm sorry. I'll mail in my fine. But I didn't take my limit of walleyes over my limit. I kept my limit. I just happened to catch a few for everybody else. But
That's not your fault. That's not your fault.
But like we're talking about, didn't have the right lures, didn't have the right setup. The fish were finicky. Also, you had to be right on the dang bottom, like this far off the bottom, this tapping that thing, and then raise up a little bit. So there's technique involved. So segue into your next question, Jacob.
When it comes to fishing lures, have you noticed a trend in the last couple of years that the smaller lures tend to be getting you, the better, bigger, more aggressive fish.
Depends on the day.
Depends on the day. Because I also feel like there's some
Bigger-
days you can't
bigger
have a
the
big
lure,
enough rip and
bigger
wrap
the
or
fish.
jig.
Yeah. Well, we had that on Lake of the Woods one time. You were using a larger size spinner blade than I was.
Yep.
And you kept catching all the fish in the slot, and I was catching the eaters with a smaller blade. And I was like, Jacob, change your lure so we can get our limit. And you were like, no, I want to keep catching big ones.
I was catching 25s and 26s left and right. It was a great day.
22 to 26 is one after another.
Yep. I'd be like, oh.
But you had a big thumper blade on that was
big.
A lot of vibration, and it was a bigger thing. We've had the same thing, using big lures and stuff. It all depends on the fish. What you have to do is you have to adapt to how the fish are biting. Like we'd see that we'll use Lake Winnipeg because that was the last place we were ice fishing, and this is a good example of that. We would see the fish come in on the live scope, and then they wouldn't hit our bait. We're like, what the heck? Well, that was color for the first 2 days because you had the only color that would hit.
Bubblegum tiger.
You should go get some of those before this podcast airs.
I'm gonna go later tonight.
Yeah. Just send me.
I'll go buy them out.
I'll Venmo you.
Yep.
And then remember also to get that smaller size too, because then what we found as the week went on and the pressures changed and it was different fishing, that we had to downsize lures. Because then I went to that little.
Well, then also the weather changed and the color changed.
Yes. Because then I go to a blue chrome.
You went to a blue chrome that was like this big.
Yeah.
Little rip and wrap.
Yeah.
It was like a little bug.
Just smoking them.
And you caught that big 20, I think the 26 or 27.
Yeah.
The last one we caught.
Yep.
That was just pretty fish, but you just smoked it.
Yeah. But they wanted smaller lures.
Yeah.
They were hitting the bigger ones.
But right when we got there.
Size matters, people. Well, women tell you it doesn't. They're lying. It does. And they'll admit that they're lying. Size matters. And then the cadence matters. Are we talking about fishing still? Yes, we are. We're talking about fishing. Talking about jigging. About the angle of the dangle.
Yep.
Okay. Got to get jiggy with it.
Well, we've also discovered a secret. When it's sunny out, you can have your brighter, more vibrant colors. When it gets cloudy and dark, kind of need your more metallic-y, darker colors, is what I've noticed.
Yep. You're backwards.
No, I'm not.
One of us is.
It got cloudy and the pressure changed and you went to a metallic blue.
Yeah.
And when it was sunny and warm, bubblegum tiger, fire tiger, whatever that yellow color you think is green.
I think when it's chartreuse. I think when it's darker out, you want brighter colors, and when it's lighter out, you want those chrome blues and your flashy stuff.
See, this is where we get your dyslexia is matching my dyslexia, and I think you're wrong on this because I have video evidence of just smoking fish on those bright, vibrant colors when the sun's out, and when it's cloudy, the chrome blue kicks on.
That's reverse though. Trolling on Lake of the Woods, chrome blue is the.
Well, that's in the summer. Maybe in the winter it reverses.
Yeah, I think your brain reverses. I'm not
sure. Either way, before this airs, no one will ever buy a bubblegum tiger again because I'll own all of them.
We used to run into people with our head, but the trick is here.
Figure it out. Experiment.
Right. The point is if it's sunny out, certain colors are going to outperform others. If it's cloudy, certain colors will outperform others. Try both. See what works for you.
If you have a group of guys, don't all have the same lure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we even do that in the same fish house. Figure out what's going on. And then if one person catches 3 fish to your 1, then we change lures.
3 fish rule.
Yep. 3 fish to 1 is not a coincidence. That's a pattern.
2 to 1 is a coincidence.
Still a coincidence. But all of a sudden, you got 3, I have 0. All right. It's time to switch. That's when I go dig into my bag of tricks and find a lure. This son
of a gun will go into his little. I've seen him one time figure out. We're on the trolling on Lake of the Woods. We're catching him on like a fire tiger, kind of bright green one day, and we had like perch colors. He goes, the one lure is a little brighter than the rest. I wonder, and he pulls out, I think, out of his butthole,
Magic
a
button.
little lure. He grabs a Sharpie out from under his armpit and draws a little pattern on this bright green, white-ish lure, throws it in there, and all of a sudden, just bang, 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 5 fish in the bucket. And we're like, yeah, another one of those? And he goes, nope. He made his own lure on the spot while driving the boat and outfished us all 10-1. And that's what this guy will do to you when you go fishing with him, is he'll use you
To
to
diagnose the
figure
pattern.
out what colors are working, and then he'll pull out something out of his ass that works a million times better and outfish you the rest of the weekend. And I only have one. Sorry. Oops.
Well, the
I
last time
deny it.
we were fishing in the boat, I put you up front and I gave you my good lure. So
That's true. He did. It was nice to me that day.
we had video evidence of you catching a
We
bunch
did.
of fish. That was only
There's-
because you helped me move. If you wouldn't have
That's
helped me, I would have not gave you that.
Go watch that video. Bottom bouncers in South Dakota killing walleyes left and right. Also, let's slow it down here. I got a little worked up.
Settle down, Francis.
I have a more of a philosophical question to end this podcast.
Okay.
Is there anything better than a cheddar brat boiled in lake water on the ice?
Only if you can make some ramen noodles to go as a side dish to your cheddar brat on the ice.
There it is, folks. That's what I was hoping for.
Yeah.
The lake water beer cheddar brat with a side of ramen is the best ice fishing meal you can have on the ice.
By far, I'm looking. I remember I got started on this cooking in the ice shack by Grandpa Harold,
The legend himself.
the legend. I walk into his house or his fish house the one day, and I'm like, "What the heck? I can smell bacon cooking." And he rigged up on his fish house heater a spot where he could slide this little frying pan in, and I've been looking for one of these pans ever since. It had dividers built into the pan. So he put his eggs in the one little part of the divider, and he had his bacon over in the other, and then he had his piece of toast that he was heating up there. And I was like, this man is a goddamn genius. I've been eating cold sandwiches and,
Granola bars, and
Pop-Tarts. But yes, make sure you boil your lake water first.
we always give it. The rule is, I've been kind of learning how to cook a little better just to have fun. The rule is with water, boil it for a full minute, and then it's safe.
There you go. Because everybody gets grossed out when they see us eating brats out of lake water.
Well, we just take our ice scoop and we get the film off the top and we dump that back in the hole, and it also attracts the fish.
We've never gotten sick one time.
Never got, not once.
No.
It actually makes you feel better.
It's better for you. Minerals.
It's good. It's got a lot of vitamins and minerals.
Yep.
And a little fish slime on your hands is also good for you. Get those fish oils in you.
Yep.
There's nothing better for you than an ice water ramen and brat sandwich.
It's a fact.
But
Here we go.
I think that's going to do it for us today
Yep.
on the Lindeman Outdoors podcast. Like, share, subscribe, tell your mother, tell your brother, tell your dog. Zeddy's our mascot of this podcast. Subscribe, do all the things. When we get to 200 followers, we're going to do another giveaway. Get us
Shout
there.
out to the last person that won. That was some weird random number, 69 fat one. Congratulations on your winnings. I hope you enjoyed your tackle kit. Hell of an Instagram handle too.
Well, folks, thank you for watching. Also, comment down below if you think our takes are wrong, because you're wrong. We're right. We're never wrong.
We're just trying to gaslight you into liking our page. Please do it.
Thank you.